Hi guys, welcome back for another Matchbox Garage video. This is Rob, and today I'm going to attempt to take this old Renault from shabby to shiny. Now I like these kind of 80s cars. I find that on YouTube, a lot of the 60s and 70s stuff is being done, and this is a car that I remember as a kid that I quite wanted one day, especially with that turbo on the side. That to me as a little kid was very cool. And I've had many French cars over the years. I've had in excess of over 70 cars, would you believe? But this reads Matchbox Renault 11, 1986. So some nice little detail. You can see the rear number plate there. Now this has got the turbo stickers on the side and stripes. I shan't be putting those back on, but still very cool. Of course, it's got the plastic base on this one, and it's quite a basic build. But let's start by removing the rivet. So we'll drill down the centre of the rivet, take off the head, and then drill the post. I use 3-in-1 oil and my very handy vise. So here it is with the screw in place. So let's start by taking it apart and seeing what we've got to play with. So the wheels pop out nice and easy for this one. And I'll just give that a nice little bath, clean that up. I don't plan on painting that today. The wheels are in pretty good condition, but we'll take a little bit of chrome paint later on. Interior actually is quite cool, it's quite detailed, I like it. Maybe paint the centres. The headlights are part of the glass in this one, so we can clean those up nicely, get them shining again. Now I've painted white on a previous build, and I considered doing it on this one, but because only partial white shows through, I'm going to leave it clear today. So there's the post drilled down. So let's start by taking off the paint. So with the car in some boiling water, just enough to cover it at the bottom of this glass bottle, I use this lye, and as you can see, I'm wearing my gloves and totally blocking the whole view, and then just dump in a couple of teaspoons. Because of the height of this glass, I just dump it in there, and it takes all of 10-15 seconds. You can already see the paint rather floating on top of the water there, and the casting almost with all the paint removed already. So after giving it a rinse off, this is what we're left with. Still, it's probably about 98% removed. There's a couple of little paint spots there, but I'm not going to be too worried about those. They actually do just come off in my hand. So once I've gone over it with the wire wool or wire brush tool and a bit of wire wool, she comes out always looking like new. Now this, you can tell by this casting, the kind of all of this here is unbelievable. So I went at it with the file and the sanding sticks just to get it all nice and smooth, all nice and straight. Using my Tamiya fine surface primer. At this stage, hadn't really decided what colour I was going to go for. Well, I used the grey primer. I wanted to go with a dark colour. I was just going to paint it black, but I did change my mind as I was going through my paints and realised that there was one paint out of my paint collection that I had not yet used. And this is just a quick and easy restoration, so I thought this would be the perfect opportunity. So to use some Tamiya X16 purple paint, I went with around a 50-50 with the black just to darken it up, and then at a 2:1 ratio with the thinner. And this is what we come out with. To be honest, it looks, I can't even tell what colour it looks like in the cup, but it certainly looked a lot better on the actual model afterwards. I actually really like this colour. I was pleasantly surprised. It's almost like a midnight purple, just without the flake or the metallic in it. So I'm going to call it a midnight plum. A midnight gloss plum. That's what it is. So first of all, with a light coat, and then generally finish up with 4 or 5 coats thereafter. And I do that off camera just so I can actually see what I'm doing and try to make the paint job somewhat respectable. If only my camera would focus. And then after the 4 or 5 coats, a slightly different method using the clear here rather than a long kind of burst. Just gone with little short little squirts, which actually I believe this is the way forward. And once it dries, I put, I think, 3 coats of clear onto this with around 10 minutes dry time in between. And that's another thing, you know, do I put it over a heat? Do I leave it to dry natural? Just trying different bits at the moment. So with the body done, let's get on to some of the interior parts. Now they've all had a little bath, and without any sandpaper or polishing, I'm just going to go straight to the Pledge Reviver with these plastics. And there we have the wheels after a little bit of chrome paint, and also just detailed the exhaust there. Same with the front grille, front number plate and front lights, and just highlighting a couple of little bits. I'm not 100% about the interior bit, but yeah, it makes it a little bit more interesting. So with the body now dry, there's a couple of little detailed in the rear lights, the door handles, and also the rear number plate. So with everything there and the glass dry now, looking lovely and shiny, let's put this beauty together. I'll start by putting the glass back in. Pop in the interior. And then line up the tabs to get the base back on. Put the screw in, and then I'll hold off to show you the result in a minute. So as a reminder, this is what she looked like, and the result. Nice little Renault, cool little car, bit of a colour change, some detail in there. There you see the rear of the car, the rear lights and reverse lights and little number plate there. Cool little car, I really like this one. I know it's not your usual kind of restorations, but it's something different for us all. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope to see you in the next one.